Well, I think it's a small sample size. It's hard to generalize, but certainly we have seen, while it's been a space where a lot of folks are new at it, and so some people have kind of not quite gotten the hang of it. We have had extremely successful companies. We've been fortunate to work with entrepreneurs that are really building the replacements to 20th century leaders. Companies like Tesla, Solar City, Powerlight, which was sold to SunPower, Nextracker, now part of Flex. So we have, and we have many more, but those are just some examples of exits we've had that have allowed our investors to do very well. Sure. Well, so we have an investment in a company called Off Grid Electric, which is supplying clean electricity and lighting to the emerging world, where many people, over 1 billion people, don't even have electricity to begin with. And so they're in Tanzania, Rwanda, that we just did a pilot in Côte d'Ivoire. And for the first time, people are able to have a TV or a phone charger or lights to power their homes. And so it's incredibly high impact to not only deliver a clean solution as opposed to coal or fossil based, but a reliable one and a solution that allows people in rural areas in these nations to really build a path to the middle class by virtue of the fact that now they have kind of the modern advantage of having electricity. And the company's doing this with a combination of a good sales model with mobile payments using mobile phones and loans, but also with technology, really delivering a power grid, a rooftop system with storage that serves the needs of Africa and other emerging nations. That isn't just a retrofit of the developed world's products, and I think that's super important. We're also in a company called Farmers Business Network, which is really taking big data and applying it to agriculture and creating a network of farmers who supply the data from their tractors on yield and seeds and combining that with weather and topography and algorithms that crunch through all that crowdsourced data that the farmers provide by becoming part of the network. And then we turn right around and give that data back to the farmers in ways that help them make better decisions about which seeds to plant, how many seeds per row, which inputs to use, which strains are doing better in their county than the strains they're using. I mean, these can be make or break decisions that can save money or can allow farmers to make more money in an age where commodity pricing is really squeezing farmers in a very negative way. So this also allows farmers to derive more benefit if they want to sell their product and it's non-GMO or it's low pesticide or non-pesticide in nature. The data that they collect and that we help them manage allows them to get paid more for that where there is demand. So really for the first time, we are allowing farmers to use the data in their area for their own advantage and allow them to become, masters of their own destiny as opposed to just buying inputs from a variety of vendors. So those are two examples of companies that are disrupting. In one case, it's a region, it's a continent, or several continents. In the case of Off Grid Electric, and in the case of Farmers Business Network, which will be international. We're starting here in the U.S. in row crops, but moving internationally over the next few years. There, you're disrupting a whole sector. $1 trillion sector of agriculture that in this way hasn't really been disrupted for quite some time. Well, we define kind of the environmental space very broadly to include food and organic food or nutrition, sort of the sustainability. And I would say it's about 60%, maybe a little more of our portfolio. I don't actually have the exact number, but as I said, it's a centerpiece of our work. And again, we've been able to deliver very compelling returns. Not to say that we're not active in other fields. We are. We're in circular economy. We have we're looking at recruiting companies that are attracting a more diverse set of users and appealing to millennial needs, called the Muse. But definitely, we have a sustainability ethic in terms of our investment scope, and we're very active, past, present, and future. Well, of course, that is the holy grail, that you want to show people that not only doesn't it negatively affect your returns, you actually get better returns. Now, that can't be true for the whole field. I mean, there's just going to be a distribution of results. But we have definitely seen, and we believe, that when companies pay attention to the longer term consequences of their carbon profile, their energy profile, their use of chemical inputs and such, that they end up over the long term with the potential to do better. They may save money on electricity or on inputs. They may make more money by being able to brand themselves to consumers that care about both the quality of the product and the quality of the environment. I mean, there are just lots of ways that companies can derive this differentiated advantage when they jump in and decide to really manage for sustainability. So, and sustainable differentiated advantage is a great way to get premium valuations. Well, we believe that the two can go hand in hand and often do. That when you do take that long-term view and invest in a different architecture for energy production, that if you have that first mover advantage, you're going to, as you grow the business, you're going to derive more support from the markets, because you're new, you're doing it well, you're shaking up the status quo, and you're creating a vision for a whole group of people out there, millennials to baby boomers, that really want to start voting with their portfolios, voting with their wallet to prevent the negative consequences of climate change, not just vote at the ballot box. Well, no question we're in unprecedented territory and unpredictable territory with our new administration. However, and I'm not alone in saying this, what happens in Washington is not going to stop this trend toward innovation and sustainability. And that's because the costs are in our favor. The costs of solar and wind and batteries have come and will continue to come down very dramatically over the past several years. And therefore, no longer are they the expensive alternative solution. They're actually a mainstream, cost-competitive approach to developing your grid. So this really doesn't have to do with politics. It has to do with what's cheap, what's high performing, and what fits into the grid of the future. So I think that's super important. Also, states play a huge role in the way that new energy technologies are innovated and released and regulated. And so there's a lot more action at the level of regions and state governments than at the federal government. So that's another reason why we continue to believe that these companies will thrive. It's also even, perhaps not in Washington, but in most state houses across the country, this is a bipartisan issue. Some of the highest penetration wind states are the reddest states of our nation. It's not just a coastal phenomenon. And also clean energy polls very well across the political spectrum. So the fact that jobs are being created in a red, blue, purple states, whatever, that speaks volumes. And in fact, there was just yesterday, there was a letter from many governors across the country saying what I just said, that let's stand by our clean energy path, as it's not just a path toward sustainable energy, it's a path toward quality job creation. A couple more points. Obviously, the international opportunity to create electricity for the over 1 billion people that don't have it today, that's unaffected by what's going on in Washington. So that's a huge area of investment over the next 5 to 10 years. And I guess I would close by saying that even if there are certain environmental laws or regulations that are dismantled or changed over the next few years at the federal level, that won't stop the innovation cycle from chugging along. Once you've kind of boarded that train, it's really hard to get off of it when it's bringing you cheaper, cleaner, more reliable, and more accessible energy products.